Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, and welcome to Good Luck High Five's Best of 2018. I'm going to go through my personal favorite games for 2018 in true countdown fashion. Before we get started, though, I want to say this. These lists are always massively subjective, and if your favorite game of the year isn't on here, please don't assume I'm calling your game or your opinion dumb. If you loved Monopoly Gamer and thought it was the best game ever, fair play, friend. I'm happy you found it. These are my games of 2018, and I think they're the best. Also, first off, here's a list of games I didn't get a chance to play in 2018 that made many other people's lists, so that's why they're not on mine. I'm sure they're awesome games. Teotihuacan, Feudum, Azul Stained Glass, the Western Kingdom series from Garp Hill Games, Coimbra, and Dice Throne. I'm sure they're great, I just didn't get them to my table. Games you're gonna freak out about that aren't on my list. Gloomhaven. I have played Gloomhaven with my Imperial Assault group, and after failing the initial mission 3 times before finally succeeding, none of us have been all that keen on getting back to it. Punishingly, brutally difficult games might be some people's thing, but it isn't mine, especially if the footprint and overhead are as big as that one. Also, Keyforge. While I am optimistic about Keyforge, there are still too many unknowns for me to put this one on the top 10. The design space is very neat, and the game is fundamentally sound, though it might suffer from very little decision making, as most often the right decision is to name the house you can do the most with every turn. I'm withholding judgment to see what the competitive scene for this one turns out to be, as I don't think it can live a long life just at the dining room table. Okay, all of that aside, let's get into the top 10 of 2018. At number 10, Equity. Possibly an unfair selection since you can't get it here in the States without direct ordering it from Europe, but I came across this game on Facebook of all places thanks to the algorithm, capitalized, and I reached out to the dev who sent me a copy. It's a player-driven economy game where the goal is to leverage art and stocks to be the first one to buy a yacht and have $50,000 all in the bank. It's silly, but above all, fun. Number 9, Keeper. Picked up by Game Salute, which is now Starling Games, who have another game on my list a little further down. I'd never played a game in the Key series until very early in 2018, and this was my first. The modular season boards, the pure mainline good feels of worker placement, Keeper may be the perfect Euro in my opinion, and as such, it makes it into my 2018 list because that's when I found out about it, and until I find out about something, it doesn't exist. Number 8, Wonderland. Renegade Games' contribution to International Tabletop Day 2018, Wonderland was an exclusive purchase for that event only. Though, as these things sometimes go, copies floated around for a while after that. If you missed it though, do your best to find it. It's a zero-chance hidden information game that plays in about 10 minutes, and Beth Sobel's art brings the thing home in a huge way. The theme is a little iffy. It could just easily be about the Cold War or any other conflict, but that doesn't detract from the absolutely perfect art and the wonderful gameplay. Definitely worth hunting down. Number 7 is Decrypto. Dropping solidly into my top 10 is one of my favorite party games ever, but certainly of the year. Aiello Games published this one right around Gen Con this year, and all it took was to see it played once, and I knew it had to be on my shelf. It's very clearly trying to take on Codenames, but does so in a way that it could conceivably avoid comparison. 2 teams of players are trying to get their teammates to guess a 3-digit code comprised of numbers 1 through 4, which correspond to 4 words that only their team can see. They do this by giving a 3-word clue, close enough to the order of the words that they can see so they get the code right, but far enough away from previous clues given so the other team can't intercept the code first. It's delicious in its execution and just different enough from anything else out there to be monumentally fun every time. Number 6 is Root. Narrowly, and I mean narrowly, missing the top 5 this year is the very wonderful Root from Leader Games. Building upon the asymmetric titan that is Vast, the Crystal Caverns, lead designer Patrick Leader set to work on bringing a coin war game to the adorable forest. This cutthroat title is far more bloodthirsty than its art lets on. You can check out GLHF's review of this one to learn more, and in fact all of the top 6 games either already have or will have reviews on this site, so you can click around to find them if they weren't published before this video was. Number 5 is Everdell. Starling Games came out with 2 blockbuster titles this year, both Archmage and Everdell. While I adore them both, Everdell is more accessible accessible for players who aren't hardcore gamers, and the art and components secured this one a spot in my top 5. The Evertree itself is a thing of beauty, and there's an expansion, Pearlbrook, due out soon to bring even more to this worker placement and tableau builder with a supremely phenomenal table presence. Number 4 is CRYPTID. Osprey Games sent me a copy of CRYPTID for review way back in September, and there's one reason why it hadn't hit our site until just before Christmas. Well, 1, that was the deadline I was given, but 2, it kept hitting my table. For those of you who adored the gridded logic puzzles back in middle school, you know, the ones where Jenny wore a red dress to a holiday party before summer, Sarah wore either a green or navy dress to the Christmas party, and someone wore a gingham dress to the June clam bake? Narrowing down the location of the CRYPTID using clues both positive and negative on a very modular board is done elegantly and ingeniously. Check out our full review for more, with all apologies to Osprey Games for the delay. Number 3 is War Chest. The newest game on the list is one that has dominated my attention since I laid eyes on it for the very first time at PAX Unplugged this year. War Chest from Alderac Games is dead simple. 2 to 4 players comprising opposite sides of a battle for area control. It's asymmetric, with each team controlling 4 to 6 units, each of which behaves differently. The control scheme for this game is drawing poker chips with representational iconography on them out of a gorgeous felted bag and playing them back and forth on the table. If there's a game that deserves fireplaces, whiskey, and a pair of those small sticks that generals use to move pieces on a battle map in movies, it's this one. Again, look for our full video review in the new year. Number 2 is Welcome To. By far the surprise hit of 2018 from Deepwater Games, which had a respectable showing all year. 2018, Welcome To hit the table, and it was a banner project. It is a flip and write game with no upper player bound, but still has some amazing tactical gameplay as you decide round to round just how long you're going to hold out for the perfect flip. We have a tutorial gameplay video up on our channel, and I'm constantly pushing to stream this one. If you've not seen it yet, you'd be forgiven because it's hard to get a copy. But if you see it in your FLGS, nab it quick. It's well worth the price, and expansion content is already trickling out with Halloween, Christmas, zombie, and apocalypse boards on the way. And finally, my number 1 game of 2018 is Railroad Rivals. While this should come as no surprise to anyone who's been following me this year, it was still a tough pick with so many great games hitting the table. Railroad Rivals starts each round with an auction, then proceeds to draft, tile placement, pick up and deliver, and then ends with stock market manipulation. The fact that it manages to do all of this elegantly, quickly, and still be fun is no small task, and Forbidden Game earns the top spot this year with a truly phenomenal title. Keep an eye on this house. Designer Glenn Drover is pumping out games, and each one is better than you'd think possible. Raccoon Tycoon is going to hit retail very early in 2019, if it's not there already, and is an early contender for next year's list. And that's it. That's our top 10 for 2018. Feel free to let me know your top 10 games in the comments, or tell me exactly why mine are wrong in exacting detail. With 2018 closing out, I want to take a minute to thank all of you for coming along on this board game adventure with me so far. 2019 promises a lot more content as we continue our weekly board game reviews and our 5x5 videos with new Kickstarter content, game and accessory features, and more. Whether you are a Magic the Amateuring fan who came over and stayed, or whether you're brand new to the channel, I want to say a very heartfelt thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me. And if you'll allow me a moment more to extend a very personal thank you to Megan and Maria, not only for joining me on playthroughs, but for giving me a camera, a studio, and the resources to do what I do. Please be sure to thank them both, as they deserve every bit. As always, help protect the game population. Always sleeve your cards. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed that video, please hit that sub button and check out all of our other offerings at goodluck5.com. And please consider becoming a patron of the channel at patreon.com/GLHFmagic. And help us keep making reviews, videos, and podcasts for as little as $5 a month. We're also always looking for new games to review, so if you make games or you know a company who does and wants to have their game reviewed on Good Luck High Five, please reach out to us at glhf@goodluck5.com, and we'd be happy to take a look. You can follow me, Captain N the Game Master, on Twitter and Instagram at CaptainNGM, and follow the channel at GLHF Magic. Remember, please shop at your local game store whenever possible. Until next time, I'm Nicholas, and good luck, high five.